Skip, remind you now, he only weighed 144, so he was basically 10 pounds, basically under the weight. But he wiped it out.
A much smaller guy just because he's at the end of the road, but the fight's so big and the money's so big, he's gonna have to take it. I bet he retires after that fight.
Canelo have to start playing catch up in rounds 4, 5, 6. Believe me, by the 7th round, Canelo is going to be a little muscle fatigued, right? We've seen that.
Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back. He strongly warned Canelo Alvarez about stepping into the ring with Terence "Bud" Crawford. In Sharpe's words, this isn't just another fight, it could be the beginning of the end for Canelo's reign. He pointed out Crawford's superior speed, surgical skill, and bottomless stamina, warning that Canelo might be facing something more devastating than a loss, a career-altering defeat, and Canelo himself? He's already speaking like a man on the edge of retirement. Reflecting on his 20-year journey in the sport, the Mexican icon admitted that the fire is fading. He confessed to feeling the pull of life outside the ring, a desire for something more, something different. The signs are all there, a legend preparing to close the book.
Has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can be in the boxing anymore, but you know, sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's been a lot of years. So
Canelo's longtime promoter Eddie Hearn lit the fuse. In a rare moment of raw honesty, he suggested that the upcoming Crawford bout might not just be another headline event, it could be Canelo's final fight. Hearn, who's been in Canelo's corner for years, has witnessed the wars, the weight cuts, the mental strain. And now, he says the signs of closure are there. This isn't just a fight. It's possibly the last test for one of boxing's biggest legends. A test that may signal the final bell on a 2-decade legacy. Facing Crawford, perhaps the most technically sound fighter of the era, may be Canelo's ultimate act of bravery, or surrender.
Do you see that fight now differently based on how Canelo performed against Skull Eddie?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
It wasn't just the fact that he couldn't cut the ring off. I just feel like the timing now, the age, Canelo is amazing. I mean, not just because of his ability and what he's accomplished, but the fact that he still has the desire for those training camps and those fights. But I just feel like that desire might be fading a little bit. Not because of his love for, but just because of age and life. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, the Crawford fight will definitely get him up for it. But I was actually watching that fight thinking I wouldn't be surprised if he retired and actually didn't fight Crawford, because I don't think he'll want to lose to Crawford, a much smaller guy, just because he's at the end of the road. But the fight's so big and the money's so big, he's gonna have to take it. I bet he retires after that fight.
Canelo's recent performances, particularly against John Ryder and William Skull, didn't just raise eyebrows, they sparked concern. Eddie Hearn openly acknowledged signs of slower reflexes, weaker punches, and a visible decline in sharpness. The once deadly combination machine now looks like a shadow of his former self. Bernie, a key member of Crawford's team, didn't mince words. He said it straight, Crawford isn't just great, he's a legend in the making. Even more shocking? Some Mexican fans are starting to lean toward Crawford. Yes, the same fanbase that once saw Canelo as untouchable. This shift isn't about nationality, it's about who's hungry, who's fresh, who's evolving. Crawford's global respect is rising fast, and even Canelo's base knows, Bud is dangerous.
Yeah. Now, the man said, now was both good. Say, you're not going to beat me. You say, I'm telling you, I guarantee I'm going to beat you. So you know what I'm saying? That's how Crawford is. That's how he feels. He believes in his heart. And you could tell it. You could look him in his eyes. You know what I mean? And a lot of people believe that Crawford going to win this fight. And a lot of Mexican people.
Yeah, they supporting him. They supporting him.
A lot of Mexican people, you know. So they got their formula why Crawford going to beat him. But it's a tremendous fight. I think Canelo, like I say, is a living legend. You know, everything that he do. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of Mexicans don't like him. But I love him. I think he does everything good in the ring. I think, you know, from swag to everything. I just love Canelo. I can't take it away from him. You know, he had them little allegations and everything. Yeah. And that's a damper on him. But I try not to focus on that. You know what I mean? I know he got in there with the baddest guys, the toughest guys, and he came came through with flying colors. So I give him all the credit, going up there fighting Bivol when nobody knew who Bivol really wasn't paying attention to him. That man was a 25-year-old champion, the reigning champion, title defense under his belt, and young and good. And Canelo fought him. So, you know what I'm saying? That was a challenge. You feel me? Had the height, had the reach, had a lot of, you know what I mean? So I give Canelo none but credit. I thank him for allowing us to get this fight. And you see what Crawford said. I didn't get to get, Canelo got to fight these guys with the names. I didn't necessarily get to fight all the guys with the names when I wanted to, but I got him.
Yes.
And that's the how it coming around full circle. And when God got it for you, nobody can be against you. And so I think he's the most deserving fighter of that outside of Benavidez. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Besides that, but Benavidez still doesn't bring the super fight dynamic to it.
Yes.
It's a really good fight with Benavidez, but this is a super fight.
Exactly.
We have legends fighting each other. David Benavidez has yet to become a legend. He's still growing in the sport.
Absolutely.
Crawford is a legend. 14 years in the sport, 10 years as champion, 11 years going on. You understand? Undisputed 2 different times, fighter of the year, all those different things. So, like I say, and the mystique of Crawford is legend in itself. The mystique of Crawford. So, I mean, so it's a super fight. Again, I thank Canelo Alvarez for taking the fight.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik came through with the knockout truth. In a twist many didn't expect, Pavlik said Crawford is the stronger man in terms of raw ring dominance. He praised Crawford's natural power, ring IQ, and relentless control, but didn't hold back on Canelo. According to Pavlik, Canelo has shifted his style, no longer fighting to win, just fighting not to lose. He's not taking risks. He's not hunting knockouts. And that kind of conservative mindset could be fatal against a fighter as ambitious and explosive as Crawford. Pavlik drew the line clearly. One man is on a mission to build a legacy, the other is trying to keep from crumbling.
Class, and he's a great fighter. I mean, that's it. Crawford is so talented. He's got so much ability in boxing, his boxing ability. And he's a bigger guy too. He's almost every bit as big as Canelo, right? So that's what makes it tough. Like, yeah, Canelo's used to fighting guys coming down from 200 probably, at light heavyweight. And Crawford ain't, but it's just too hard to pick on it because of Crawford's ability and boxing skills. I'm not going off of Canelo's last fight. The guy he was fighting was in survival mode pretty much. He was just fighting not to get knocked out. When you fight a guy like that, you're not going to look good, right? I don't care what anybody says. When you're fighting a guy that's running around trying to survive, it makes it hard. So I don't go off of that, but this fight is going to be interesting. I mean, I would almost have to kind of lean with Canelo, but I'm not making that pick. Just saying, guys, so nobody come at me. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one. Not worrying about anybody, saying, hi, you're wrong, or talking. But it'll be a good one.
Trainer Robert Garcia added more fire to the conversation, agreeing with the belief that Canelo is tired, mentally and physically. Canelo has been at war since his teenage years, and Garcia believes the decades of battle are showing. Gone are the sharp angles and explosive combos of his younger days. What remains is a more cautious, more defensive version of Canelo, trying to conserve energy, not dominate. Garcia wasn't attacking Canelo's heart. In fact, he was paying tribute. He knows Canelo has given everything to this sport. But now, the cost of greatness is catching up.
Why is it that Shiraz was able to knock out Berlanga, but not Canelo?
It's because Canelo doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now. We've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same again, Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. He's up there, and not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but he's
fighting since 15.
15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believed.
Popular boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult sees this fight as more than just a clash. He sees it as a potentially history-defining moment. Beating Canelo, a global face of boxing, could skyrocket Terence Crawford into immortality, but with greatness comes backlash. Showbiz warns that if Crawford wins too convincingly, conspiracy theories may explode online. How did the smaller man dominate the mighty Canelo? Was it real? Was it rigged? He called it the curse of greatness. The more dominant you are, the more the world questions you. And Crawford might find himself at the top of the mountain, and the center of chaos. If he wins, especially in dominant fashion, this fight could become the crown jewel of Crawford's legacy, but also the spark that ignites a storm of media warfare.